We appreciate you being with us tonight on OpenLine. We're talking about the effort to ban books and really curtail some of the curriculum that is in our schools. I have Kent Oliver here with me from the Nashville Public Library. But first, we're going to jump to the phones. Amy is on the line. Amy, thank you for calling in tonight. Go ahead.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Mr. Oliver, I got a couple of personal questions for you since you're retiring. Do you mind answering them?
We'll find out.
Okay, I guess that's a yes.
Yeah.
Well, are you from Nashville?
No, I'm actually grew up in Topeka, Kansas.
Okay, but you're not related to any Olivers in Nashville?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay, because there used to be a principal at East High School named Mr. Oliver, and he was really big on literature. And he was, I talked to a police officer a few years ago that he told me a story about answering a burglary call at Mr. Oliver's house after he had retired. And he was so happy to see him because Principal Oliver asked the draft board to hold back drafting these high school students at East so they could finish their high school degrees. And he told me that a lot of those guys didn't come back. And he told Mr. Oliver how grateful he was. So I just thought I'd finish the story. And congratulations on your retirement.
Well, thank you so much.
Good day.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in. A lot of folks happy to see you move on to doing the thing of your dreams, I guess, right? A little traveling on the agenda.
Yeah, a little traveling on the agenda.
Yeah, you can go from books to travel, see it in person.
Books to travel, that's right.
I know that once we have this conversation, and folks really have been talking about banning books, the push to ban them for several months now, just here in Tennessee. Not that it's not a new topic, but the interesting thing is when you talk about banning a book, sales of that book or reading of that book, I mean, it just skyrockets. Can people come to the library and say, I specifically want to look at these materials and see what this hubbub is all about for myself?
You bet. And when you can come in, obviously, and we can help you, and at the reference desk or wherever. But even if you get online and search our catalog and you type in lists and a band, it'll pop up as well.
How many books are on there? Just
I couldn't even tell you. I mean, we were talking about the numbers earlier. I mean, the books that are banned are sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. Captain Underpants series.
My kids read that one.
I was going to say, you see, your kids have read banned books.
It's not my favorite thing, but they giggle at it.
Yeah, and
that's so funny.
I mean, those are the types of things you see. Wow. And it's again somebody trying to decide what's appropriate for your family when it's not appropriate for their family. Right. Put it out there and let people get to it, and if you don't want it, fine.
My kids will feel like such rebels when I tell them this in the morning.
They're rebels.
You've read a banned book. They'll get a kick out of that. I'll be like, but don't get any crazy ideas. Right? I'm sure it is. I'm going to have to peruse that list and see if I have.
The American Library Association has the list of the top 10 books that have been challenged every year going back I don't know how many years, so it'll give you a sense of what's on there.
Yeah.
So.
If you could sit in front of our lawmakers today after this legislative session, what would you like to say to them?
What a wonderful question. Just that libraries are about building democracy, and that we don't all have to agree on all the ideas that are in a library, whether it's a public library or a school library. But we need to make those ideas available so that people can learn and have intellectual discussions about them. And as I mentioned earlier, by comparing ideas, people can come to their own conclusions. And certainly in public libraries and in school libraries, I'd go back to kind of the same comment that, you know, we need to trust our educators to build collections that give a well-rounded curriculum and help children learn. I know one of the issues there is people may not feel like the curriculums are going in the right direction, but you know, librarians are not so much about the political answer as the informational and literature answer. So.
You know, I'm glad you brought up about trusting our school staff, our librarians, our teachers. We interviewed a librarian not too long ago about one of these topics, and she said, you know, librarians are the most highly educated staff member in the school. They have to be.
Yes, oftentimes.
I think we discount that.
Yeah, they may be the most well-read, short of your English teachers. So yeah, I mean, they want what's best for your children, and they're often working with short resources
all the
and
time.
not enough staff, and really dedicating a lot of extra time and effort to make sure your students are served.
And as a parent, I know our librarian has always been open when I've just had, and they haven't been material questions, but other questions, they're so responsive. And I'm sure that librarians would love to have a conversation with someone about materials.
They do. Ask away.
Yes,
that's what we want.
yes.
That's what we want.
And I'm sure the same case goes at the Nashville Public Library. I mean, you said there is a process if someone who truly has a concern.
There is. And you know, Noelle, the head of our collection development, is happy to talk with people. She talks with people all the time. And the frontline librarians, the branch managers, and the librarians in the branches are happy to explain the process to people and answer questions about it. And if they can't answer it, they'll get it to Noelle or another manager.
Yeah, this is nothing new.
No.
There's a pipeline.
No, there is. And you know, again, talking about my career, this has been going on as long as I've been in libraries and before I was in libraries, and will continue after I'm gone. So.
It is an interesting, you know, just to study the human psychology of when we start talking about let's ban this book, how those sales just, everybody, you know, it's kind of heartening to say, okay, well, people want to know more.
Yeah, and Mouse is a great example of that. We know that the sales have gone up on that all across the country, and actually I just received an email the other day, and there's somebody that's going to donate copies to our library for every branch, brand new copies. So, I mean, that's the kind of discussion that starts happening and the actions that start occurring when a book is challenged. And
important for people to know if they can't get something at their school's library, there are other options.
That's right. That's right. In fact, there's been a lot of talk on library social media about the fact that if you can't get it at your the school library, make sure to go to your public library. And if you've been paying it, if you're in the library friends group on Facebook, I mean, that's the discussion that people are having, is how do you promote the fact that you can come to the Nashville Public Library and read a banned book, which is what our and tell people about that. If people missed that at the beginning of our hour, this is really important to talk about this new campaign. Right. We have a new library card, and it's fabulous, and what people can do is they can come in with, they can either get a new card and get the banned books card, or they can trade in their current Nashville Public Library card and get the new one, the I Read Banned Books card.
And you're pushing, you're hoping to get 5,000 this month. 5,000.
Yes, and I think we will get 5,000 this month. I don't think we bought enough.
Oh, really?
I was at a book event the other night at Parnassus Books, and a woman came running up to me, and it was the first day that we began and the cards were available, and she said, I've got it, I've got
it. How fun to see so much excitement around that.
Well, it is, and it is an exciting theme, and I think there is a lot of energy around it. And I think those of us that are intimately involved with public libraries and really understand the importance of intellectual freedom in a free society understand the importance of it. And you know, another piece of this too is we do different campaigns around different items at the library, whether it's programming or whatever. But I will tell you that the staff, I think to a person, is excited about this campaign because they know how important it is. And I'm pretty sure that I can say almost to every individual that works in the library, they understand the importance of not allowing book banning to go on. And
at the heart of it is what?
Right. Well, at the heart of it is that idea that we serve the entire community and we are neutral. And I don't agree with every book that's in our collection, and our staff doesn't agree with every book that's in a collection, or they have different books they like and different books they just don't care about. And I think it's a core value for us. Intellectual freedom is a core value. Providing unfettered information is a core value.
It's important.
It's very important.
And if you're searching for something, you're there to help.
We absolutely are.
Yeah.
We absolutely
Don't
are.
forget about the library concierge.
The library concierge.
We all need one in our life.
You do. You do. Don't have them tell you to go to a restaurant. Have them get your information
just go to
for
the library.
you. Although they'd probably find a restaurant for you.
You guys do a lot of things. I would not be surprised. Have you seen a good spike with all these folks moving into Nashville? Are they taking advantage of the public library?
Well, we were seeing a good spike prior to the pandemic.
Yeah, makes sense.
And we were seeing our circulation go over 5 million. The number of people coming into our buildings was incredible. So we're like a lot of businesses now. We're rebuilding and getting people excited about library services again.
Well, it'll happen.
Oh, I know it will. I know it will.
Thank you for spending the past hour with it. I do appreciate it.
Well, thank you. This has been a joy.
Well, good. Absolutely good. It's been good to learn more about the Nashville Public Library. When we come back, I will tell you what's on tap for the rest of the week. Stay with us.